everyone, this is Angela and Ryan with Lost in Reviews here for Blu Monday's Top 10 Best Blu-rays of 2011. Sorry we're a little bit late, but you know how it goes.
And this is also the first Blu Monday of 2012.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Talking about the best ones. Now these are not going to be movies, like movies that were released in 2011. These are what is the best Blu-rays, and that comes with like the video quality being outstanding and the sound being, you know, ginormous, and all the special features being enough.
Nothing beats ginormous.
Nothing beats ginormous, and the special features being enough to keep you held up in your room for like a full day watching all this stuff. So
yeah. I mean, a lot of great movies came out this year, you know, that were released actually in 2011. But I mean, I think we always find ourselves coming back to movies that we love.
We did have quite a big stack, and we tried to start narrowing it down. We got it down to like 30 or something. We're like, should we do top 30? No, that would be way too long and boring.
So let's get into it.
Top 10 here. These are in no particular order, but there is kind of like the better ones saved towards the end here. So just first up here we have the Three Colors trilogy, blue, white, and red, which we reviewed on Blu Monday not too long ago. Why don't you tell them why this one got picked as the best, one of the best?
Mostly because of the packaging here. I really enjoyed the book that comes with the film. I mean, it's a beautiful trilogy that's released from Criterion, and one of the best releases from Criterion, which releases the best of everything. The transfer onto Blu-ray is fantastic with the sound, and the high-def transfer is just beautiful. And all the special features that are on here are fantastic. Again, I said fantastic like 5 times in relation to this movie because it's that good. And the packaging is for any collector, and all these reviews from critics and stuff is just amazing.
You know, I'm going to be honest right now, there's probably quite a few Criterion films in here because they really outdo themselves when it comes to giving you information about everything you never even knew you wanted to know about a film. So this is the first one of many to be included in the top 10.
Definitely. Next up, we have Louie Season 1 on Blu-ray. Now, for TV shows, this was not only one of my favorites of this year, and actually this played in 2010, but for a release with commentary from Louis C.K., it's mesmerizing because it's not just him being funny. He's going in and telling you how they shot it because he's really into cinematography, so it was really, really surprising. Pretty much everything has a commentary on here, and it's great to listen. I'm a big commentary guy.
Yeah.
So when I find a great commentary like the one that's on Louis, I can listen to that more than just watching the show, and I find myself coming back and listening to this commentary, which is fantastic. The show's awesome, and check out Louis if you haven't. Season 2 I thought was better than this season.
I thought they're both really good in like separate but equal ways, if that makes any sense. But
I'm not a guy that comes back and watches TV shows a lot, but with this, I watch it frequently.
Yeah.
It's a great show. It holds up on multiple viewings, and that's why I picked it for our top 10 of the year.
And this is the only television season to make it onto our list, so that's kind of a big deal too.
And the one thing that I will knock this for is dual-sided Blu-ray DVD. I hate that.
Oh, you like a pretty picture to look at for the 3 seconds it takes to push it in there.
Yeah.
And that's a Region A, if we didn't mention that before. This is a Region A also. So next up, this is kind of one of my favorite films, also a Criterion. This is Tarkovsky's Solaris, which is from 1972. And, you know, they remade this with George Clooney later, which actually wasn't bad. It was just kind of like really a cut-up version of this. But this is like the Russian filmmaker's version, and there's all these extra deleted scenes added in that they thought were lost, they never knew existed, because he'd cut it up before it went to Cannes, because he just wanted to make sure that it would make it in there. So there's all these extra scenes that really help to add to it, and there's all these like very in-depth conversations, interviews of sort with the main actors, like years later. So this is like reflecting.
Do the special features help you understand the film?
Definitely. Because this is a film that's like, it's a think piece. It's like a scientific, like, you have to study it, and you have to like, it's like one of those films where you figure out who you are from the film.
Nice.
Kind of film. So, that actually, it helps to know the motivation of where Tarkovsky was taking this film, and also the motivations that the actors had and like why they were so passionate for this project. And not only does the book include all this stuff, but there's like even additional like all this information, just like glorious love showering upon the director about how great he was. And then they talk about other pieces that he went on to make too. So this is a really interesting film. Really made me fall in love with his work. So and the picture quality is fantastic. They restored it for Blu-ray, you know, because this is such an older film. So the sound quality is also pretty adequate. But really the picture is what got me, because this is a very visual film too, so you want it to be really like stunning. So
yeah.
Does it have a thing on there?
What region?
A region?
Region A for Stellaris.
All right, we're 3 for 3 for Region A's here.
Yes. All right. What do you know? More Criterion films. Okay, now with Dazed and Confused, Criterion started doing releases with posters. And like I said, I'm a total collector. Like you can see behind us, and I'm a total poster collector. And this is based off of the Mondo poster that they did down in Austin for the special screening of Dazed and Confused, which was shot down in Austin. Now, along with the poster, you get this fantastic book that has reviews and interviews and just is beautiful. I love the case design on this version of Dazed and Confused, and just there's special features on there that you would not find on a Universal release of Dazed and Confused, because it's a lot of bashing of Universal.
Ooh, fun!
So there's a lot of stuff like Matthew McConaughey coming on and talking about his first movie that he ever did. I just love this. It's one of my favorite movies that reminds me of my high school days. Not necessarily that I grew up in the 70s, but just when I was going to high school.
What?
But I love it. I love the design, how it looks like a notebook that's been drawn on. The picture and the sound are great. It's everything that you would expect from a Criterion film, and one of their best releases of the year.
Good. I'm excited. Okay, so yet again, another Criterion, but
nope,
they, you know,
that's
they
not
knock
a
it out of the
Criterion.
park. Oh, I thought this was.
Nope, that's a digibook from Warner Brothers.
Oh, good. We have something different then. But they're keeping up with what Criterion can
Warner
put out
Brothers,
too.
when they bring out these digibooks, I think it's to the sole purpose to keep up with what Criterion does.
So Clockwork Orange has been brought out this year and a digibook, and you've got the 2 discs here on front and back, and the book is attached inside of it. So that's kind of cool. You won't lose it. So much is packed onto this. I'm going to forget half of it, but I'm just going to say there is like a ton of interviews, a lot of them with Malcolm McDowell, who, you know, stars in the film. Got interviews from back then when he was younger, and a lot now reflecting back on the film. You've also got directors coming in like Paul Greengrass and Oliver Stone coming in and reflecting on like their experience with the film and how it influenced them to make kind of the movies they did, like Natural Born Killers and stuff. So then you've just got like so much about the film, and there's all these studies of how it affected people when it came out, how it was still controversial, and what the story means to different people. Because there's all these different ways you can look at how the film is. It can be a very sad, depressing story to some, and it can be an angry story to others. So it just kind of depends on I guess who you are, and that's what's so interesting about these special features, is kind of getting to see the different perspectives of how people see this film.
Yeah, that's great.
And then the visuals, of course, it's been restored and it looks fantastic, because this is a film that really uses colors well. I mean, you notice the pops of white and black because of the other colors around it so well. So they did a great job with restoring that visually. And it's one of my favorite films. It's one of these films that, like, you pop it in, and I was seriously just all night long trying to get through all these interviews and special features and stuff. Not to mention you have to watch the movie too. So.
Yeah. So a great release.
Yeah, loved it.
And up next we have a Blu-ray that came at a suggestion of Gollum Clay, who always watches our videos, and that is Lord of the Rings, the extended edition on Blu-ray. And I have to say, right off the top, the way this thing opens is
awesome.
One of my favorite things, because check it out.
It's a magnet. It's a magnet book. What are they good for? This they are! And then it's like little books here, they slide out.
Yeah.
So you don't have to worry about those boxes where you take them out of the shelf and then they're falling out everywhere.
But I do like the black Blu-ray cases. And like we always do on Lost Reviews, if you judge this thing by its weight, holy shit.
Yeah, there we go.
It's like 20 pounds.
So, I mean, it's like worth $1 billion.
Yes. And I know a lot of people complain that they split the movies up onto 2 discs. But I like that with Lord of the Rings because I have a hard time coming back and watching these films because I want to watch them all and I can't just jump into a movie. But since it's kind of spaced out, then you can just kind of watch it on your own pace.
I actually really like that because that's one thing. I love these films so much and I always have. But the one problem I've always had with them is, you know, I have to watch from beginning to end, like you said. That's like 9 hours of my life I'm never going to get back. I don't have that time to sit down and watch it all together. So when you pop in, like, oh, I'm in the mood for, let's watch 2 Towers. Pop it in. It's split into 2 parts, like 2 hours and 2 hours. So you can do it in chunks, and you still get that great experience and that fantastic sound and truly seeing it in HD now. Yeah. So that's exciting.
It's beautiful in HD. The sound is amazing, and special features, I don't think we will ever find out as much about Lord of the Rings as are on
I don't think we'll ever get through all the special features, to be honest.
It's so packed and just awesome.
There's so much on here. I mean, everything you'd want to see, all the deleted scenes, all the extended versions, all the commentary, everything.
Yeah.
The making of, everything you'd want to see about this and, you know, and more. So,
yeah,
definitely well worth the purchase.
I mean, if you're into Lord of the Rings, you should already have this.
Yeah, you probably
because the DVD versions of the extended cut do not even add up to how beautiful this Blu-ray is, even if you just go on visuals, but add in all these new special features, and yeah, definitely must have.
Nice shiny, too.
So we have another digibook in The Big Lebowski. I'm a huge Big Lebowski fan, a huge Coen Brothers fan, and I mean, this kind of digibook doesn't really get into the making of The Big Lebowski, but it more gives you like quotes and stuff, and that's what's special about this Blu-ray discs. Because one of my favorite special features on here is the Dude versus Walter trivia, which is awesome.
Yeah, there's all kinds of little games in here you could make up from the stuff, and just little stuff you wouldn't ever think you'd want to know.
Yeah.
So.
In high def, The Big Lebowski, they threw a lot of stuff into the background in here that really adds to the story. And in high def, you can really pick it up. And for a nerd like me that is so into this movie, I'm like, oh, look at that little special tidbit that's thrown in there. And that's what makes this release so special. And it has every special feature that was on the previous releases. This one is not, you know, it doesn't come in a bowling ball, so a little bash on them for that.
That was fun.
Yeah, I liked the
How many bowling balls can you own?
I know.
They probably know you own that already. They want to come out with special features, but they don't think people are going to set 2 bowling balls next to each other on the shelf, so they probably thought this out.
No, I like it. I enjoy it. The book is great. The Blu-ray is great, and it's just one of my favorites of the year.
A lot of fun on that one. And then in their games even included on the disc that you can play.
Yeah, the trivia game.
Okay, you mentioned that then.
Yeah.
All right, then next up.
And then we can't not mention that this came out.
Just, you know, the weight. The weight again. It's a winner. See, there we go. It's going to fall out.
It's Star Wars, man. And it's on Blu-ray. And next year we'll have the 3D versions on Blu-ray. But again, I love the design of the case. Just the feel of it makes it feel worth owning.
I like that it's like a children's book with those thick pages, but then you get a disc on every page. You go, what do I
do? The restoration of this film is brilliant. The sound, everything, it's just magnificent. And it holds up throughout the years and definitely holds up on Blu-ray. And we really got a lot of re-releases this year that finally came to Blu-ray. A lot of the stuff people were wanting, and this, I imagine, was on the top of everybody's list.
I think so.
Everybody wanted Star Wars. It's out now. It has to be on our top 10, and it is.
This is the version you need. Like, I think if they come out with another version after this for 3D, you're getting it for 3D, but this is, I mean, you get this for the features, for the quality.
Honestly, when I was watching this on Blu-ray, I was like, oh shit, there's a lot of scenes in here that could be shot in 3D. And, yep, ended up happening. It's going to be out in theaters this year. So,
you know they were going to do that, though.
Yep.
They do that with everything in 3D.
And if you know me, you know that this next release has to be... Angela had to stop me from talking about it when we reviewed it on the show.
Physically shut him up.
and that's Jurassic Park. I love this movie. I love all three of them for different reasons, and this release, I love the tin can release. It's awesome. Once again, I will remind you, do not buy that stupid dinosaur coming out of the Jurassic Park gate that they tried to rip us off with.
Maybe they want it.
Oh, just horrible. But one of my favorite movies.
Yeah,
one of my favorite movies, the special features. My number one thing for Blu-ray special features of re-released films is people coming back and discussing their feelings about the film. And a lot of the times, like we had Quentin Tarantino's releases, we didn't get Quentin Tarantino coming back and saying what he felt about the films and how it's, evolved him and how he feels about them now. We get Spielberg talking about how he still loves the films and Jurassic Park 4.
That guy, he's a busy man.
Yeah,
so
he won't do commentary, so this is as close as we can get to him talking in detail about how he feels about these movies. And I found out so much I didn't know about Jurassic Park just from this Blu-ray, which was shocking to me. I love it.
That's cool that you actually learned something because, you're a freak about the film.
Yeah.
So the fact that there's new info on there really shows that they went out and dug around and found some good stuff. So
okay, so while everything else was kind of in a random order, we felt that we had to pick our favorite Blu-ray of the year. Mm-hmm. And since this was released, it's always been our favorite.
Yeah.
And that is Taxi Driver. On Blu-ray the visuals are amazing. The sound is crazy and the special features will blow you away, but the thing that will shock you the most is how much this thing is.
Yeah, still today.
Still a cheap Blu-ray.
$14.99.
This is Taxi Driver. It shouldn't be this cheap. Like this should be a $40 Blu-ray for what you get. Mostly because, like I said before, my favorite special features are when the people that made the movie come back and talk about how it affected their lives. And once again, we get the man himself, Martin Scorsese, coming back, not only talking about Taxi Driver, talking about the state of film as it is, reminiscing about hanging out with Spielberg and doing all that. This is my favorite Blu-ray release this year.
I would have to agree.
It's
I
amazing.
was just seriously blown away by how much stuff. Not only is it just you're watching the film being restored and it looks great and it plays like it's brand new, with modern day movies anyway. Yep. But then you go into those special features and you've got one of the greatest directors of all time coming on here like it's nothing, saying, "Oh yeah, this movie was a great time," and talking about all these things.
The insight that he's giving you about Taxi Driver is just mind-blowing. Mm-hmm. This, if you've never seen Taxi Driver, you have to see it. It's one of my favorite films of all time. It's so visceral. It's just a great. I love these digibooks just as much as I like Criterion releases, and this one holds up to a Criterion release with its amount of special features.
That was pretty much the majority of our stuff, right? Was Criterion or a digibook.
Yes.
They know how to get us.
Yes, if you don't own this, please buy it.
Seriously, it's $15.
Yeah.
It's worth buying a Blu-ray player for, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. My favorite Blu-ray of the year. I can't add any more sentiment to it.
We gotta give
it
a little dance
deserves
for it.
a dance. And that is it for our top 10 Blu-rays of 2011.
So now we're gonna have to start keeping track for 2012. But
yes. Next week we'll hit you up with the releases, and this week there be Dragons.
There Be Dragons.
There Be Dragons comes out, and we'll have a review for it next week. So check back then, and we will see you.
All right, thanks.
For more Blu-ray reviews in 2012.